Waiting. As Tom Petty said, waiting is the hardest part. So, the lost art of waiting. I'm going to do several segments about how difficult it is and how important we've found instant gratification to be and how that doesn't really exist in real estate. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is cultural impatience. And this is going to sound a little weird, but we've gotten to be a society of people that want things immediately. I mean, I will honestly tell you, like when a new series comes onto a streaming channel, I want it all to drop at once because I want to decide when I want to see it, how I'm going to see it, when it's going to end. I don't want to wait week to week. Instant gratification. In the grocery line, we want our stuff to come immediately. We don't want to wait. We don't wait. We don't wait for red lights anymore. We turn on red. Waiting has gotten to be a lost art. And in real estate, waiting is a big part of what we do. But clients have a difficult time understanding it because it's not like ordering a cup of coffee. You can't say, here's the house I want and I'm going to get it. It's not the same. There are so many steps that require waiting in a real estate transaction that you need to understand that waiting is really going to be the hardest part in a real estate transaction. Back to my instant gratification and waiting is the hardest part. This segment is about how you're waiting for the perfect match. Recently, I took a young couple out to look at houses, and I have such a great time when it's someone who really knows themselves. They really know what they want and they really understand, but they don't understand what the market has to offer them, which typically is not exactly what you think you're gonna get. So you think this is what I want and this is what I can get, and it really depends on so many things. So the part about ordering it, you can't really order a house. You kind of have to find out what's out there, sift through it. Your real estate agent is important in this. And as this couple and I walked through houses, what they wanted kind of changed because they realized that what they wanted didn't exist in the market or in the price point of what they were looking at. We had a great time looking at houses that were never going to work for them, but they thought had potential. And as you walk through this, you have to learn that you're waiting. And they were impatient. They just wanted to find the house, And we did finally find the house. But in the process of that, the waiting for them was very difficult. So the perfect match doesn't exist. A perfect understanding of what's going to match for you does exist, but there's waiting as you go through the process of finding that house. Back to my series on waiting is the hardest part. I'm going to talk about sellers now. Sellers have a very difficult time waiting. When I talk to a seller, I just recently went to a seller's house to talk about prepping for their house to go on the market. They would like their house to go on the market tomorrow. But when I go to see their house, there are things that need to be done to get it ready to market. My job is to make you understand the market that's out there and what you need to do, how we can price it, what needs to be done in your house. But you really don't want to wait. You want to get it on the market as soon as you can because you think it's going to sell as soon as we put it on the market. Well, number one, we have to prepare it. We have to make sure it's the best possible product that we can put out there. Number two, we need to make sure that it goes out with great pictures, that the marketing is all ready. All of this requires waiting, which isn't really a strong suit for sellers, just like finding the perfect match for buyers isn't really their strong suit. So we have to find this. So as I'm meeting sellers and explaining this to them, the next thing they're asking me is, how long do you think it will take to sell? Well, we're not in COVID anymore. We're not even the year and two after COVID where things were selling immediately. Now it takes time to sell things. So I'm preparing them that instant gratification of your house being sold the day that it's listed doesn't exist anymore. It really doesn't, unless you have some unicorn of a product that everyone in the world wants. Most houses are not that. So there's waiting. And as we go through the process of selling this house, there's going to be more waiting. So patience. Patience for sellers to understand that it's going to take time. Finally, the final part of my segment about waiting is about finesse. Finesse is what real estate transactions are all about. And finesse in real estate transactions is all about waiting. Everyone is emotional. Everyone who's going through this process feels very strongly about it. Buyers feel very strongly that their offer should be accepted. Sellers feel very strongly that this offer is not what they wanted. So the emotions start rising. And as the emotions rise when you go through the transaction, you have a whole bunch of things that have to happen. We have to pass inspections. We have to get through the mortgage. We have to get through the municipal requirements. And all these create stress for buyers and sellers, which makes waiting impossible. So a buyer says to a seller, I want you to give me a new roof. The seller says, no new roof. And then the tension begins. Not only the tension over the roof, there's time frame tension because the contract itself has tension in it. They have time frames, 2 weeks for this, 1 week for that, 3 days for this. So all of these things are building your emotions as a buyer and a seller and as a real estate agent because you're riding the roller coaster of emotions for your clients, which agents you should not be. You should be living in the place where you are helping them discover the way to wait. So when I say finessing the deal, I'm talking about giving everybody a moment. Take an overnight. Everybody take a time out. Everybody's tempers cool down. And once that happens, you finesse this deal and put the deal together. That's what is so important about the waiting.